So now I've got my nice lines down to my edge. Now, if you're doing other shapes, basic shapes, they're all going to come from here. So if you're doing a circle, you can use your shift key and you can put that circle down there. And if you want two of those circles and you want them exactly the same size, you can go option. Notice when I click, roll over it and hold down my option key and click on it, and I hold down my shift key, I can line them right up with each other. So Illustrator will do the hard work for you, and all I'm doing is option dragging and then snapping my shift key to keep them in a line. So I can do this manually, or I can distribute them. There's lots of different ways to get to where you're trying to go, and I can throw these out to the edge of the page. Now, if all I want here is white dots, so let's grab those. It grabbed the square with it, so I'm going to hold down my shift key, or I'm sorry, option key to get rid of that. Let's grab shift to add those together. With all of those selected, I'm going to go here to new layer. And you see how there's blue here and blue here? I'm going to move these onto layer 4. And I'm going to call this circles. Now for my circles, I don't want anything to have a stroke on it. I just want it to have a line. Here's where you might utilize a different way of breaking your edge. So if all you want is a circle to break the edge and we're not really worried about strokes, a good way to do that is to just go ahead and clip that. And I always forget where the scissors move to, underneath the eraser. So notice the circle is selected. If I use my scissor and I clip on either edge of that circle and then I switch to my selection tool, it'll just cut off everything outside of that. And if I want to close it, I just grab my pen tool and I click on the path. A little slash line means you're going to connect to the line, and a little circle means you've closed a path. Closed paths are like the golden jewel of Illustrator. Close every path you make if it's meant to be a shape, and your life will be much more pleasant. All right, now there's another way to do this. So if the scissor tool doesn't work for you and you've got a simple shape, here's when this came out. When this particular tool came out, I don't know, it was probably 6 or 7 years ago now, I was like, oh my goodness, life is fabulous. Because if I want to get rid of this part of the circle, I can make a shape that overlaps it like that. And I can say that wherever that shape overlaps, I want it to cut off what's there. And it does all the work for me. Done. It's that easy. So there's lots of different ways to get to the point that you want to be at. There's also lots of different ways like to do things like this. So let's say I have this and I want to make a copy of it and put it on top of the other one. Whoops. And I want the ones that go on top of this one to be stroked with black. I'm going to do that. And I'm just using, you can use edit copy. I use key commands. Sometimes I forget. Copy, paste. And this one I actually want to be filled with black, stroked with none. Now, I want these to all be lined up with each other. So if I shift select all 3 circles like that, and I use this guy here called the Align tool, and I go to Show Options, I can align to the artboard. That's going to put it on the center of your page. The key object, that's going to be the first thing that you selected, or the selection itself. And I can tell it to be centered horizontally and centered vertically. I don't have to guess. It just did it for me. And if I love how that looks and I want 110 more of them, I can go to Object Group and I can just start option dragging lots and lots of copies of them, and I can grab them all at once and hold down my shift key and make them smaller. I can just keep going and going all day long, right? And all I'm doing is option selecting them. And anytime I want to use them all as one little thing, this is reminding me of like some honeycomb type of thing, I can just go to Command G and then I can put them back and they're all going to move together as one piece, right? So I can have lots and lots of fun as I go through. Now, there are going to be moments when you get frustrated doing this stuff. There are going to be moments when you think, oh, I'm not doing this, it's too hard. Turn the it's too hard off. Nothing is too hard. We can make everything that you planned on making if you believe in yourself and you trust me and trust yourself to get it done.